Hello students, welcome to today's session on law of demand and demand curve. So this is one of the important topic of economics, okay, and I'll walk us through on three segments. What is law of demand, definition, okay, and some key points for law of demand. Second one, I'll cover demand curve. What is the shape or slope of demand curve? And in the last, I will cover features and importance of law of demand and demand curve. Okay. All right. So to begin with, law of demand. So law of demand definition states that there is a ceteris paribus, I mean, other things being constant, the quantity demanded of a good falls when its price rises and rises when its price falls. Okay. So here, I mean, the constant is like, other things being constant. The quantity demanded of a good falls when its price rises. That means if price rises, the demand of the commodity, the demand of the goods falls. And simultaneously, if you're talking about when the price falls, the demand rises. Okay. To explain it, the law of demand, when prices go down, consumers buy more. When prices go up, consumers buy less. So this inverse relationship between price and quantity. Inverse relationship means like, once the price rises, quantity demanded less. Once price falls down, quantity demanded more. That is known as inverse relationship. So this inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded is the foundation of demand theory. So the basic concept or the foundation of demand theory is the inverse relationship between price and quantity, right? So here I can say one key point is price and quantity demanded move in opposite directions, right? So as I mentioned, inverse relationship is nothing but the opposite directions. So for law of demand, the key point is price and quantity demanded move in opposite directions. All right. Now moving to the next, that is the demand curve. Okay. So demand curve, it is nothing but the geographical representation of the relationship between price of goods and quantity demanded, right? So as stated, the law of demand is stating that it's an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, right? So demand curve, it is a kind of graphical representation of the relationship between price of goods and quantity demanded. All right. So what is the shape of the demand curve? So demand curve slopes down from left to right. Once again, I'm just emphasizing on that. So demand curve slopes downward from left to right, showing the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. All right. So if you're talking about vertical axis or y-axis, we can consider price of goods, and at the x-axis, the horizontal axis, quantity demanded. Okay. So the slope, it is nothing but downwards from left to right. Okay. And just because of now it has the inverse relationship, it is going downward from left to right. All right. Now moving to the next one, features and important, or the importance of this demand curve. Okay. So as I mentioned, the features of demand curve is downward sloping curve, left to right. Okay. So always slope from left to right just because of inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. The next one is it represents consumers' willingness and ability to buy at different prices. Okay. So it has a different points at which the price is set. Okay. So according to that different prices, the willingness and the ability to buy the respective products or a specific product consumers represent, the willingness is represented in the different dots, right? So it represents consumers' willingness and ability to buy at different prices. Now, talking about the importance, what is the importance or how anyone can study the demand curve or law of demand? Okay. So the first of all, I would say it helps and businessman and economists to understand consumers' behavior, buyers' behavior, okay, and predict market trends, right? At what price, how much quantity will be demanded, right? So willingness and ability to buy at different prices because of demand curve, they can place the different prices and understand what is the probability or willingness and ability to buy that particular product. So it helps in decision making. It helps to plan the strategy. It helps in understanding the consumer behavior. Okay, so for the businessman, for the economist, okay, it is very important to understand the consumer behavior and also predict the market trends and the quantity demanded in the market. Here, one thing I would like to emphasize, like factors that price can shift the demand curve. There are a couple of factors, okay, that affects the demand curve shifting from here to there, like income. So if the income changes, definitely quantity might demanded less or more. Then taste, it is also important. So these are the constant factor, as I mentioned, for when I was explaining the law of demand. So income, taste, price, or related goods, it should be like the constant one. So if income changes, definitely quantity might demanded less or more. Accordingly, the demand curve will shift. Second one, talking about the taste. So if taste changes, maybe the preferences changes, then consumer behavior changes. If consumer behavior changes, then definitely demand will might fall or go up. Similarly, price of related goods. So if any products having the alternates in the market, right, and the price of related goods are changing or having cheaper, or maybe comparing the existing product is less, then definitely the quantity of the existing product might be reduced. So the income, taste, price of related goods impacts the demand curve, right? So it might shift, okay, from here to there, just because of factors that are affecting the demand curve. Okay, so I hope you understand the concept. So that's all for today's session. Okay, you all understand the topic. Okay, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next time. If you have any doubts, please contact me through my Urban Pro profile. Thank you.